Welcome to Dirt Grease Outdoor Peace. My name's Matt. This is the 58 Apachahoe that I'm building. And we're going to be trying to make some cuts on this thing and get this thing closer to marry the cab with the Tahoe firewall. So let's get to work. Let this thing down a little bit. So, the most critical thing is the where the wheels fall into the fender. So on the old truck, from where the fender, the fender sits just off of the door, from there to the center of the axle was 28 inches. So it actually looks like to figure out how I'm going to translate that down. Translate that to so I can get started on I really don't know what I'm doing. I should get a big square. I need a big T-square. A lot further forward than I thought. So it's like an inch behind that flange. So it's still got to go forward more. Which that's good, I guess. It's I had no idea how this was gonna line up here. I was actually thinking right away that this piece here would have to come off, which it goes way back into here. So it would it'd get rid of that cowl area. Or I could come down one. I'm hitting the little fuse panel on there. So. It looks like I didn't even know if the lift would clear any of this stuff. If I can get this fuse box out of the way, I can start letting it down more. Well, it's closer now, so we'll see what that measurement looks like. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to okay, so it looks like the chassis can go back an inch, but I'll have to get that fuse box out of the way. Here, I'll show you where it's hitting. So this is what we're looking like here, and it's actually inside of the fender mounts. I'm just gonna have to cut up through here, and it's actually a lot more forward than I thought. But I mean, you can see how the old dash is real narrow, and this new one, look at how deep it is from where the windshield was to where the steering column is. So it's actually kind of encouraging though, because that means I can keep a lot of that old metal on the upper dash. And you know, like I was showing you down here, that's, you know, the back of the firewall. This piece here is gonna get removed, and that'll be back here. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how all that looks. This is the fender bolt, and I don't know what, somebody must have scabbed that thing on there. See, it's hitting this fuse panel, so I had to get that out of the way, and then the chassis can actually go back a little bit. So I'll lift the cab back up, and then I'll figure out how to get that fuse panel off. But when I put my jig on, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, when this was upside down and I was welding these new body mounts on here, when I made that jig to mark where the old bolt holes were, I went through those and marked the heavy steel plate on the bottom of that, and I drilled up through those marks from the bottom with a small drill bit, and then opened them up from the top. And I just had to, you can see that bolt in there. I just put a 3/8 bolt in there for now. It's right through the original body mount. So when I started dropping the bolts down through there, I could see that those bolt holes had to go in just a little bit. So I just, with that smaller hole, I took like a 5/16 bit and I just leaned it in, got it going, and then straightened it out, and that was enough to cheat those in. And then I had it up in the air and dropped those bolts through, and the bolts were right through the middle of the holes on the body mount, so I was pretty happy with that. So I'll get that fuse panel off of there and then we'll pick up from there. Okay, so what I did was I took a square and I came up off of this with I just used it as a straight edge, but I came up here and the first time the chassis and the firewall was too far towards the passenger side, so I had to put the jack underneath the front and slide it over a little bit. So I got that centered, and now on each side the edge of this is 1.5 inches from the lower part of this boss here. So I got the same on each side. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to cut this. Oh God. You know, you kind of like dream about this stuff and think you got it figured out, but you really have no idea what you're doing. But that's how I feel anyways. Maybe everybody doesn't feel like that. So I guess it looks like I could cut right on the edge of that and leave this, and then just cut straight up through, and in behind there is all that vent structure and everything in there, so I gotta start getting that apart, probably drilling spot welds and cutting stuff. The floor is completely junk on the front, so I'm at least gonna cut this back to this floor support right here and just get that nasty crap out of there. And yeah, just start going step by step here and figuring out how I'm going to get this thing on there. Obviously I've got some repair that I have to do before it gets married completely. I'll see what the other side looks okay. The other side's got a hole in the door, but it's okay here. So yeah, I just have to fix what I have to, and I think when I checked it, I think this side is good front to back. So it looks like I can definitely cut this or drill the spot welds off of this upper piece and pull that off of there. because it looks like up on the top here I'm gonna have to narrow this up a little bit, so that's gonna be interesting. So I guess for now I can raise the cab back up and get the chassis backed out of there, and then start doing some cutting on this cab and keep moving forward. Hang on, I'm coming. What? I know, I'm sorry. Just for a little while. Oh, if that's old undercoating or just some oil that gathered dirt or what. So I measured off of that rib underneath to the edge of the floor, and I made a few marks and cut a straight line. Well, I cut a line across there. I don't know how straight it is, but cut across there, and it looks like, according to the measurements on the chassis, where the body mount is on the frame should be just in front of these steps, so that should actually work out good. Now if these can stay in there, I don't know yet, but I'm not really worried about that right now. So there's just a, I don't know what the heck that is. There's a, oh my god, see all this stuff in there? They like, all four corners had crap stuffed in them. The good news is that there's the cut line. A lot of that is on the cut side of that, so that can be replaced with the good Tahoe firewall. So what I need to do is take the square and just kind of eyeball a line up through here. For right now, I'm just going to come down to where the hood hinge mount is, and I'm going to cut this material out here. And then the inside's going to be a little bit tricky, because this piece here goes over and around and all the way out. You see my hand going in there, all the way out to the cowl, outside of the cowl here. So that's going to be a little bit more tricky. I guess what I can do is cut the front, and then cut this out and get that out of the way, and then from the front side come in and make the cut on this, and yeah, just have to see how that's gonna go. It's interesting to be to this point and trying to figure all this out. I think if this truck was any nicer, I would have a really hard time cutting it up like this, but I mean, this thing has got quite a bit of rust on it, and so I think it was a good candidate for what I'm doing. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be rewarding in the end, because this is a truck that I plan on driving all the time. I mean, I love my Chevy 1-ton, but you know, it's really not practical for driving around and doing errands, and you know, it's a stiff ride because of the 1 ton, and it's expensive to drive, not only the fuel but the maintenance. I've got another engine light on now that I've got to figure out. So I think you know, during the summer when I'm not hauling a trailer or hauling whatever, you know, hauling a bunch of stuff in the back or whatever, that this is going to be like a daily for me. And so it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be something that's gonna get used. So to me, this not only is the work worth it, but it's a neat project. It's challenging, and just hope to stick to it and get this thing shaped up. And we actually have a good spell of weather right now. It's sunny, and I think it's only like 40 today. It feels like 20 in the shade. You can tell what time of year it is, just like when you get to March. Early March, the sun is nice and warm, but boy, if the wind blows at all, or if you're in the shade, you know it's March, because that sun just doesn't have the heat in it. And we're gonna get a little warm up even more the end of the week, up towards 50, but then it looks like it's gonna taper back off to 30s again and be a little bit more seasonal. So I'll have time to work on this and just keep plugging away. So I guess you know, especially on this project, because I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just kind of figuring out things as I go. I have just been not having the camera rolling while I'm thinking and working and, you know, making some cuts and stuff, but I'm gonna try to be better about, you know, maybe doing some time-lapse stuff, or you know, some video here and there of what I'm actually doing. So I'm gonna try to get these lines marked out, and then I don't know if we're gonna get a cut in there on this part today. I got all this pile of junk here that a lot of those parts are for this Tahoe, and the exhaust parts was from that old green 3/4 ton that I fixed up, and it's stuff that I don't want to throw away. I just don't have a place to put it right now. I guess for the exhaust pipe, I probably should, in some of that other stuff, I should probably get the ladder out. I do have a little storage area up above here. Eventually I would like to have some kind of either a drop down ladder or some easier way to access that, and possibly even add on to that, bring that out another 8 feet or so, and have a little better storage up there. It's a really nice shop, and I'm lucky to have it. The angled walls are a pain for shelving and stuff. You know, the shelves hit up against the wall, and then you got a big space behind them, so it's kind of a pain like that. But maybe I can figure something out, get a little better. Right now I don't have any shelving in, well, just this stuff over here, and that's just all full of oils and different things. I guess what I could do is I think this shelf here is just mostly junk. I could rearrange that. I've got stuff on those shelves there that doesn't need to be there. I could make a little bit of room there. And so I need to get that. Basically what I need to do is that now that their cab is down, the frame is in the way out for me pulling my car back in. So I think I'm gonna slide this chassis over this way at an angle, then I can pull my car in. Yeah. Why does everything seem so simple? This one. What I should do is take these stupid gloves off. Nothing holding that. Nice. Yeah, that's real nice. This is nice. Then you wonder why after you build something like this it still smells funny or stinks from mouse nest. That'd be why. So now I gotta follow this line in. Come up here. Gotta get this out of there too. It was right up against the door hinge. Oh, it must be just spot weld right here. All kinds of goodies in there.